Good morning, here is Kramer's Corner with the daily technical updates. In US market, Tuesday evening, not much happening really. Ticking a little bit higher yesterday, but we are still in the same situation where RSI is showing some divergence, as you can see. Lower values but higher prices, or higher values in the S&P 500. However, trend is your friend, so we are still in an uptrend, but there is some warning signals of a short-term exhaustion mode to some extent. A little bit lower in Nasdaq yesterday, so keep an eye on this lower rising trend line here, and of course the support level right there at 17,128. That is the first support that you don't want to have taken out if we are going to see higher levels on Nasdaq 100. In Europe, interesting developments. We had the EUROSD 50 moving higher yesterday. Continuing uptrend. There's still divergence on the RSI, but again, trust the trend, and there is now potential up to 4,724, possibly higher. It's of course tough to predict how much higher we can go, but for now it seems like we are continuing or extending the uptrend. DAX yesterday closed above the 17,000 level, very key, strong resistance, pausing a little bit, but there should be further room towards 17,255, which is the 138.2 projection of this correction, but there should be room up to 17,410, possibly 500. So do expect a little bit of corrections, but not much. I think we are about to move higher there. The Amsterdam index has reached and actually surpassed the 200% of this correction phase there. Quite stressed, but very close to cancelling its divergence on the RSI. We can see here 28, just below the previous peak here. So very stretched uptrend, but as previously mentioned, we are also in an uptrend on the weekly chart, so it seems like we are heading into a fairly strong first quarter. Belgium markets, on the other hand, still struggling a little bit, still testing this 3,609 level. Some support, really strong support there that needs to be broken for the downside potential. But if we do move back above the cloud here, well, then we could test the upper falling trend line and potentially moving higher, quite likely actually. CAC 40. If it breaks above 7,654, well, then I think we will see uptrend resuming. Still, we have this top and reversal candle up here that needs to be taken out for a confirmation of that scenario. Swiss market still fairly depressed compared to the other markets, so it seems like it could still drop to the 11,100 level. However, if it does take out the peak from yesterday at 11,319, well, then maybe we could have a go at this top and reversal pattern up here that should be taken out, but that's still a little bit too early to call. On the FX market, euro-dollar has bounced off the 107.30 key support. We could bounce a little bit higher towards the 108, but as you can see, the 55 moving average turning around here, and the 21 and the 200 all declining. 100 still rising a little bit, moving into possibly flat mode. So I think we will not see the bounce should not move much higher than 108 level, possibly a little bit higher, and then we could have another go at the 107.30 level. Cable, sterling dollar here, trying to get back, currently is back above 126.10, but it has broken out barriers. I think it's just a rebound before we probably have another go to test the 125 level, but for now it is still above 126.10. So maybe it could also be a false breakout, but really hard to say. However, we have the RSI in a negative sentiment, so the downwards pressure should resume. Dollar yen rejected second day yesterday at 148.80. Taking a little bit of a breather, it should have another go, but let's see. I mean, the RSI is still in a positive sentiment. However, there's a little bit divergence, as you can see. These values here on the RSI, they are lower than these ones, whereas the close here was higher than over here. So it will be interesting days, but 148.80, look out for that. I think we maybe could have a little bit of a weakness below 147.50. Euro yen, not really much, a little bit weaker yesterday, finding some support here at the 100 moving average, just above the cloud. Could come under pressure, the 158.55, that's the key level to look out for, and of course the lower rising trend line there on the upside, 161. Aussie yen, really not much to say either there. It's not really moving much, so we'll talk about it when something interesting happening. Aussie dollar did trade above the 65.20 this morning. Seems like sellers are taking a little bit of control back here. So let's see if it does continue slide or resuming sliding lower. Well, there's still room down to 64 level. Close above 66.25. This shoulder-like pattern will be demolished. Dollar switch, which we have been talking about for a few days now. There was a little bit of a spike up yesterday, but I think there's still potential up to the 88.20. The dollar index did close above the 104.27, but couldn't hold up, so we're struggling a little bit to hold up. However, we are above the cloud. We are in a positive sentiment on the RSI, so I think it will merely just be a correction, possibly down to touch the upper part of cloud here, around here, before we will see next move higher. Gold still range bound, and I believe we'll see that scenario plays out here the next for the foreseeable future, the next week or so. What is interesting, it dipped just below the cloud level here, but closed above. Now we are having another go here, so there's some support here at 2033. Still 2064-65 is really the key level to break or close above for really an upside potential. If it does take out 2000, well, then we are looking at fairly or much lower levels. Silver seems to sliding lower towards 2190. That's the key support to look out for there. You have all the moving averages here, 55, 200, 121, all declining. So not much upside should be expected on the silver metal anytime soon. We have the copper bouncing off the 200 moving average, which is declining, but still it offers some support, and I think maybe we could move back towards the 382, possibly a little bit higher. We have the 55 coming up there, so but still very volatile in this area here, between 395 and 370. On the energy side, we have WTI still trying to recover somewhat after testing the lower rising trend line here, and I think we will move higher in coming days. We have the RSI still in a positive sentiment, no divergence, so we should have a move towards the 77.5 in coming days. But again, I think overall we are probably stuck range bound between 72 and 78-ish levels. Brent did break below the lower rising trend line, but trying to move back above, and on our side, same picture, identical picture as on the WTI, so expect a little bit of a bounce there. Finally, on the US Treasury yields, 420 is the strong resistance you should look out for. If we move back below 4% and back below the cloud, well, then we could see a downwards pressure towards the 370. What is interesting is this actually a double bottom pattern here that will only be confirmed if we close above 420 on the yields right there. Let's just have a very quick look at the contract future that bounced off 110.26, trading around the 55, just before, just above the 200. So also really key level to look out for if you're trading the US 10-year contract futures. All right, that's all for today. There will be more in-depth analysis on the European markets, DAX, EUROSTOXX, AX, and so on a little bit later. Also, I will publish updates on Vestas Wind, Ørsted, and Siemens Energy that has reported some numbers. So there's focus on the wind energy sector here in Europe. And finally, also an update on Tesla that has formed a bottom and reversal pattern. Let's see how much it can actually bounce from off lows. That's all for today. Thanks very much for listening. Have a nice day.